All right, thank you so much for coming. I'm super, super excited that you're here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited too.
Yeah, so how's your VidCon treating you thus far?
It's crazy. It's my first time being invited as a guest, and I got to meet some lovely viewers. There's a lot going on. I got to visit the expo hall, and I didn't think it was going to be this huge.
Yeah.
So no, I'm just like blown away by how immense this event is.
Yeah, it's like the internet, like IRL. Like that's honestly how I felt. Okay, so first things first. We have a little instant challenge.
Okay.
So as you can see, we have two boxes here. Box 1, box 2. Pick your poison.
I'll go with box 1.
Box 1?
Do I hold it?
So we're going to leave it.
Okay.
We're going to leave it. And we will circle back to this later on.
All right.
Just build the tension a little bit. So, all right, so first things first, we're going to talk a little bit about Instant because it's super exciting. It's a brand new platform powered by Time Inc., Entertainment Weekly, People, and it's all video, and it's dedicated to people like you, digital creators who are taking over the world, taking over the internet, and I'm super excited for it, and you guys should be too. So first things first. Okay, also, if you guys have any questions for Jeffrey, as time goes on, be sure to tweet at us. We'll check our Twitter. Your question might get answered, so think of a good one. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your unique journey of kind of getting into YouTube and kind of getting to where you are now.
Sure. I mean, in high school, I had trouble fitting with a few groups of friends, and I couldn't find my identity. I went to this private high school where there was primarily Caucasian people. And so I couldn't find my niche, my community. And even though I tried to fit in, my culture wasn't fitting in entirely. So I started to watch YouTube videos. I saw a community on there. And I just started to feel more comfortable seeing people that looked like me online. And I didn't really pay much attention to the thought of making videos. And then eventually, I still had a lot of trouble fitting in school, and I thought maybe I could do this. I saw a lot of people gaining an audience and having this this comfort and this confidence of like expressing themselves. So I started to I made one video and then another, and then within a month, I remember we reached 3,000 subscribers, and that's when I realized that, oh my God, my voice can be heard. And yeah, I just continued making those videos, and that's how I pretty much got started, just seeing other people start before me online.
I was gonna say, I was going through and watching some of your old videos. I watched like your first vlog from literally 5 years ago. Do you ever like go back and watch old videos and just think like, oh my God, what was I thinking? Or just, I mean, is it, what do you do that?
I try, I mean, I've seen old videos, but I think the latest that I've seen was probably a year ago, just to see how I've progressed in the last year. But in terms of my first videos, I cringe just watching it. I'm like, oh my God, I look like a fetus. I tend to not watch my own videos. I'm embarrassed by it.
It's almost like a diary in a weird way. It's like sometimes it's like you write things down and you kind of look back and it helps
and then
you
sometimes
things.
I get comments on my there's my YouTube page that says like, oh my gosh, I watched your first video, and I'm like, oh my gosh, really? So yeah.
You know what? We all have embarrassing stuff on the internet. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. So recently, you posted a video about how you're choosing your decision to kind of drop out of college. How did your audience react to that? Like, were you nervous that you were going to get any backlash or anything like that?
Yeah, I told my friends and family that I wanted to really express the real story and what really happened in my background, so that some of the people that are maybe facing the same situation or the same issue than me could relate. But yeah, most of my friends and family were a bit skeptical, and I was skeptical as well, because being a college dropout, I didn't want to encourage people to drop out of school. That's not really the point. It was really about the education process of, I dropped out of school, but I was able to find an education program, I guess, that I found myself that wasn't necessarily related to a school. I think at the end of the day, it was just the message was stronger than the title of being a college dropout. I think what I wanted to do at the end of the day is just tell people that whether you fit in or not in school in an academic way, you cannot stop learning throughout your whole life. So I was skeptical making that video, but at the end of the day, I was really, really surprised about the feedback. I had a lot of friends and even people I met on the street saying, oh my God, I watched that specific video, and I shared it to all my friends because there's something that was very inspirational about it. But yeah, there was some worries that were there, but I'm happy that the feedback was positive.
Was there like a specific moment where either like you were sitting in class or something like that, or just something kind of like not snapped, but something kind of hit you where you're like, you know what, like I just don't think this is for me. Like I think, or you know, whether it be like success you had with a video, like was there just like a one defining moment?
I always knew YouTube was for many a platform where you can generate revenue and it could potentially be a career or lead to something bigger. But no, I think in school I just had a lot of difficulties. There's this stereotype that Asian people are very smart in math, and I wasn't. I had average grades, and my parents always compared me to my sister because she's the smart kid. So I don't know. I just even so when I was younger, I don't know if you guys know this, but when I was younger, my parents enrolled me into dancing, and I was competing throughout America. I was able to be on a few TV shows just from dancing. And I always loved the artsy side of me. And I knew that I was more an artist than an academic person. So really early on, I told my parents, even during high school when it was time to choose a college program, I said I want to pursue dancing on a full-time basis because I think if I put more time in this, I could develop and pursue this as a career. And as college approached, I was able to be on Got Talent, and I was fortunately able to be on the Ellen Show. And that kind of was like, man, if I want to do this full time, if I'm not putting my full-time effort into this, I'm gonna have a lot of difficulties because I used to watch a lot of Disney shows, and they start so young, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so late. So it wasn't until I went on like these traditional platforms that I figured that I really wanted to do this on a full-time basis. But yeah. It was hard. It was hard to make that decision, though. I wasn't really sure what I was doing entirely.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more of, like you said, you mentioned Ellen. Like, what was kind of the process? Like, when you've heard, you know, you're gonna get to dance for Ellen. Like, what went through your head? How did you feel?
So it was weird because on Got Talent, I wasn't really expecting to make it to the semifinals, and then when I got kicked out of the show, I flew back home, and I was kind of just, you know, digesting the fact that I was on a TV show and it was live and everything. And then the next day, literally, no, I think when I came back, my dad said, oh, there's a message for you. It's from the Ellen Show. And I'm like, what? and not only that, I was like, how do I get back to them? And so he's like, don't worry about it. They gave us a number. So it happened so fast. And so they called, they interviewed me. They asked me if I wanted to be on the show. And I said yes, and they'll be, okay, cool. And then the next day they said, oh, we have a plane ticket for you. I think 2 days later, are you interested? And I said, sure. And it just happened so fast. So I didn't really have time to like
wrap your head around it.
Yeah, exactly. But once I did, I was just, you know, I was excited, and I just realized, I think that was the thing that kind of told me that I need to explore this industry more, and I need more of my time. So I had to like step away from school.
Are there any, like, obviously you're super into dancing, are there any people that like really inspire you, like when you watch their videos, like you just, you know, take inspiration from that, or you really kind of like look up to them?
Yeah, I think for me, in most cases, what I look up to is not necessarily the fact that you're either a dancer or a singer, it's the journey to what you've become. So right now, like I really enjoy watching Zendaya. She's on Disney, and she's doing amazing. And yeah, just looking at people's journey, I think a lot of people, every time I see them start something and then it leads to something bigger, it inspires me to accept that I am also part of that journey for myself, because it's often really stressful, not really knowing where I'm going with this. But yeah, yeah, definitely.
So, you know, you mentioned earlier that when you were in school and there wasn't a lot of diversity. And so why do you think it's so important in the YouTube community and just kind of media in general to kind of bring diversity into the picture?
You know, I think for me, the thing that I had a lot of difficulties with is expressing my culture. I didn't think culture was that important until I realized that when I talked about it, people didn't understand it. And so that kind of shut me up for a while. I would not talk about a lot of things, or certain things that were really personal to me, because I knew for a fact that people would not understand it. And it's not their fault, as you know, that's not the culture they've grown up with. But I think it is important because it allows us to share these things. And when you're in high school, especially when you're in high school, I think a lot of people are just like, we lack, we're trying to find our identity. And so, you know, a lot of people want to be heard, but not a lot of people would listen in high school. And when people don't listen, it's hard to be heard, you know what I mean? So it is important for people that are trying to find their identity. And yeah, I think every voice counts in that way.
Going back to Ellen a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
So with your dance, what are some of your favorite dance moves to bust out? Like, what do you think you've perfected when it comes to dancing?
Right now, I don't know. I'm into like these the silly dances they do online. Like a few months ago was the whip and the nay nay. Now it's like the dab. It's I don't even know what this is. I don't know what that is. But I don't know what the name is. But like I've been doing those. But in public, I usually just do pirouettes for some reason.
I mean, it's a classic. It's a classic.
It's a classic. Yeah.
Classic. All right, so you recently started posting covers, like you did one of Shawn Mendes' Stitches, which was great. Who are some of your favorite musical acts out there today that you kind of look at and just think are amazing?
I mean, growing up, I was watching a lot of Michael Jackson. I loved the whole concept. I love a show. I love seeing somebody dance or sing, but I love the whole concept of how it starts to finish. So Michael Jackson definitely had a nice concept with his shows. And right now, I'm really into Chris Brown. Justin Bieber has a nice show as well. I'm really into the shows. But yeah, those are the singers that I'm looking into. I love their style and what they've put on the platform.
Are you working on any other covers right now? What do you kind of have cooking?
I'm currently practicing music. Hopefully I'll make more covers in the near future. But recently I sang a song live on stage, and just the whole performing live in front of an audience is still very new to me. But I'm slowly getting into it. It's still like something that I've feared for a long time. But I really do want to make more music in the future.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, do you want to write more music? Like, is that anything that like appeals to you? Kind of creating your own stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I do want to make my own music. I want to write my own music, and some of my friends have been sticking with me when I told them that I have an interest in music. They taught me how to write. And so I haven't really digested the fact that I am a singer and I want to pursue that. But I think that goes with, again, the fact that I lacked that, I had an identity crisis. I wasn't really sure where I was going with things. And I don't know if it's just in my environment or if that's the case for a lot of you guys. When I told people I wanted to be an artist or singer or comedian or an actor, very little people encouraged it. A lot of people said that's too hard, and they kind of discouraged the idea of even making it. So even for me, at some point you have a difficult times balancing reality versus that dream that you have. So for a long time I just said maybe it is too hard. But I think it wasn't until recently that I realized that happiness comes from those passions that I have. So yeah, I definitely want to write my own originals one day.
I love that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take some Twitter questions. Hopefully I can figure out how to work this phone.
I hope you guys asked a few.
Let's see, okay. Swipe screen. Guys, this is, okay, here we go. Okay. So let me see. We have so much Twitter activity going on right now. I can barely even take it. Okay, 1 second. I literally can't hear. You know what? This phone is too confusing for me.
All good.
You know what? I can't even figure it out. So let's do a TMI. Let's do a TMI. All right.
Okay.
Go, you choose. You choose.
Okay. Do I read it?
Yes.
Who is your all-time favorite YouTuber? For the longest time, I've watched Ryan Higa. It's been 9 years. Do you guys know Ryan Higa? Yeah, he's great.
All right, and obviously you mentioned he's your favorite one, but who is someone that you would just love to collaborate with?
Oh my gosh, there's so many people that has something that you know what? Recently, I've been watching a lot of musicians make their videos and to make covers. As of right now, Oh my God, it's like right like off the bat like that. I don't know. Right now, I'm really because Zendaya she's a Disney star. She's not necessarily a YouTube artist,
I
but
mean,
like
the sky's the limit here.
She started to make music, and the transition between Disney to music is interesting to me because I'm kind of in the. A lot of people know me for sketch comedy and being a personality, and this whole new thing is I don't know how the viewers will take it. So I'm interested to see like. So yeah, I like just her story, and like hopefully I could get to collaborate. She's dope.
Well, obviously you can dance, you can sing, and you can act. Which one, if you had to like pick one, if you could only pursue one, which one would it be?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me that. I think at the end of the day, I'd like to be a singer. Yeah, I always for the longest time I've been a performer. I've been dancing, and I love performing in front of a crowd. And singing kind of allows me to do both. I'm able to sing and dance at the same time. So singing would be what I'd like to do.
So who would you say, obviously your dad is on your channel quite a bit,
yeah.
which is super fun. Was it like hard to convince him, like, Dad, come be on my channel, or was he like all for it?
He was just confused. He was just like, whatever. And he was there since my first video, actually. So I think he's always been part of the journey, and he doesn't necessarily, back in the days, he didn't really understand the whole concept, but I think it was a year later, my dad started getting recognized on the streets, and my dad just loves attention for some reason. And at home, he's kind of quiet, and he's doing his thing, but as soon as he sees people and he meets viewers, he goes all out. And I'm like, Dad, stop making these jokes, it's not funny. Yeah, I mean, my dad has been part of the journey, and I have to thank him for, a lot of people love my dad more than me. That's offensive, by the way.
Should he start his own channel?
A lot of people have been saying like he should start his own channel, but no, he's great. I mean, he's been really supportive, and recently, within the last year and a half, he's really been invested into YouTube, and he's been trying to understand what's the next step. Who are the other YouTubers, and he watches a lot of the people that I know. So I would talk about like Ryan Higa and Shawn Mendes, and I could have open discussions with my dad about these creators, and he's like, yo, you should go out there and collaborate or do this challenge video. I'm like,
I was just gonna say, does your dad ever like pitch you ideas? Like, you know what I think would be a really funny video if we did? Actually,
you know what? I asked him like, yo, what should we do? And he's like, yo, son, bro. And then he pitches me this like he's like you should disguise as like Brad Pitt, and I'm like that's horrible. What the hell are you talking about? So he does kind of try to help out, but every time every week I'm like, what do you think I should do next? And every week he gives me this idea, and every week I'm like, that's horrible. I'm going back in my room. I'll just close the door. But yeah,
you're fired, Dad.
Yeah, he does try though. I feel bad because I'm like so like nah.
Well, it's like a good bonding thing. Sometimes when you get older, it's good to kind of like incorporate your parents in that way.
Yeah, that definitely like tightened the relationship.
So who is someone that you like look back on that you've collaborated with and you were just like, that was amazing, like I want to repeat that, or just one of your favorite people to collaborate with?
I was able to collaborate with one of my favorite YouTubers, Ryan Higa. I grew up watching his videos, and it was fun because I was able to be a fan. I got to meet him as a fan, and the moment I met him as a fan, he already told me that he's watched my videos before, and it's just cool to get a knowledge from your inspiration, and seeing that they've had an impact, and what I am today is partially because of them. So collaborating with him was fun because he's been doing this for 10 years now, and from the beginning, it was very amateur, just homemade videos, and now he has a whole team. So it was just cool to learn how he processed videos and the difficulties I face, because we work at home, and we're a lot of times we're alone in our room, and we're not really sure if we're being professional, if this is normal, if I have, if I still have trouble talking to a camera sometimes, and I'm like, man, I've been doing this for years, and I still suck at this. So it was cool to see that, amongst the big YouTubers, or amongst the people that have been doing this for long, years and longer than me, faces the same problems and the same growth. So it was interesting just to see the similarities that we had.
Yeah. And so obviously you mentioned like wanting to get into music more. You are getting into music. If you had to pick one song right now that is like the song of the summer, what would you say?
I Need a One Dance, that one, for Drake.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at first, but it grew on me.
Yeah, Drake's killing it right now.
Is there anything, like I meant, like I asked you earlier, is there anything if you had to pick like one song that you were gonna cover next, what would it be?
Oh my gosh! Right now, for some reason, I've been really like touched or emotional about Christina Grimmie passing away recently, and I've been listening to a lot of her songs and her journey on The Voice, and then she collaborated with Ed Sheeran on the show, and Ed Sheeran's been really like getting to the heart. So I'd love to probably an Ed Sheeran song with what I would be looking into.
So have you met anybody? So you said this is your first time kind of coming as a creator yourself. Yeah. Have you met anyone, or are you looking forward to meeting a creator that you look up to? Or
yeah, you know what? It's weird because as you progress online, you start to meet the tubers with similar interests, and we communicate behind the scenes. We're not always like publicly like tweeting at each other, but like we do have these conversations behind the scenes of like what are you working on, so that we kind of inspire each other and help each other out. I'm excited to just see some of my good friends that I've been talking online, and yeah, we don't get to see each other a lot. They're scattered all over the place. A lot of them are in LA, and some of them are in Toronto. Because I mean, in Montreal, there's not a big community in the first place, so I don't get to meet a lot of YouTubers and really communicate on a eye-to-eye level. Because when you tweet each other or you message each other, it's so blank. You don't see like if you don't know if they're excited or just like
Well, I mean, if you think about, like I said, sometimes like this is like the internet IRL, like all those numbers, like there are people behind those numbers and they're here, and it's so exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I'm here. I'm excited to meet the viewers and see. I'm always excited to see how they found my videos and why are they watching my videos. Yeah, and it's weird because the answers are different from one person to the other. It could be like that one specific video, but a lot of times it's like I randomly, and they randomly stumble upon my channel, and then I'm interested to know like what made it stick, right? Because there's so many content creators now, and on YouTube, I still cannot understand or grasp how my channel is being, shown up in other people's pages. So yeah, I'm always excited. I mean, I'm excited to meet the viewers.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it's time we should probably do the instant challenge.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
See what's inside the box.
Totally forgot about that.
Go ahead.
Now I'm scared.
You should be scared.
Oh shoot. Okay.
What does it say?
Do I take it?
Yeah.
That's good. Invent a brand new dance move right here, right now.
Oh goodness.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you were saying
okay,
you
what
could
do I do?
create the next whip or nay nay right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wait, I have to think about this. Oh my god, because the dances are so silly. I'm always doing this like.
It's like a modified like moon dance meets single ladies
I'm just
type of move.
like that. Thank you. Thank you.
So we should come up with a name for it. It should be called like the Chang. Just everyone do the Chang.
The Chang.
Do the Chang.
Let's do the Chang. Let's keep that.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So this is, like I said, this is your first VidCon as a creator.
Yeah.
Have you had any fan moments so far that have been like out there or funny or just random that you've enjoyed?
VidCon, at one point I was outside and a viewer met me and she was super nice. She was like, oh my God, I love your videos. And then she started hyperventilating. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And yeah, she just had trouble breathing. She needed water. And I think that was a bit crazy for me because, as a YouTuber, I don't realize the impact that we have as a creator and how much, of their lives we're taking, because every single person behind the scenes have their own issues, have their own things going on. So it's humbling to see that what I do has a positive impact. So yeah, I think that was one of the main ones that I was surprised. I don't know if I was like happy to see that, but I was surprised to see that.
Well, I think next year you should bring your dad, and you guys should just do a meetup with you and your dad.
Imagine Daddy Fever just walking around here.
Oh, is he here?
No.
Oh,
I was like,
let's
imagine, right?
Next year, you and your dad, I think it should happen.
All right. I'll see if he wants to. I'm sure he will.
Well, thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Thank you so much for running. Yeah, it was exciting.
Thank you guys
so much for coming. Appreciate that. Yeah. Cool. Are we walking out? Oh, you're fine.
There you go. So exciting, right?
That was sort of beautiful.
The power of YouTube.